Hey guys, this is Chase Tyler, and you are listening to Local Leaders, the podcast.
Hi folks, I want to tell you about Denham Springs Fit Body Boot Camp and their 28-day, $77 Jumpstart program. There's no strings attached and really no reason not to try. You can be in and out in just 30 minutes, and best of all, these 30-minute sessions are scheduled throughout the mornings and evenings to fit your busy schedule. These 30-minute sessions are fun, positive, encouraging, and you can even sign up online. Just visit getfitdenhamsprings.com. Denham Springs Fit Body Boot Camp, a proud sponsor of Local Leaders, the podcast. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Local Leaders, the podcast. And I have Chris Stirgus sitting across from me in this seat. How are you, sir?
Pretty good. Thanks for bringing me in, Jim.
Man, we are going to have a good time today. You own Stirgus Credit Repair, based right here in Denham Springs. So We're going to talk all about your business, really get into what it is you do. I know there's a lot of, I don't know if you call them misconceptions in the credit repair business, but but maybe pre-assumptions that people have. So we're going to kind of set the record straight on that and let people know exactly what you do. But first, like we do on this show all the time, we want people to learn a little bit about you and you know who you are, what you enjoy doing in your off time and stuff. So one thing I noticed when we first met is you're an extremely motivated individual. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, almost an understatement would be motivated when it comes to you. Not only in your business, but really in your personal life as well, which, as you know, as we all know as business people, those kind of tie in sometimes. You're a big believer in a strong mindset?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Challenging yourself. You do a lot of that, and we're going to kind of discuss that. One of the ways you do it is by intermittent fasting, something that I'm somewhat familiar with. And so tell me how you kind of, I hate to call that a diet because really that's a lifestyle.
Oh, yeah. It's completely different, and most people would think it's impossible. You know, you hear somebody say they went 2 or 3 days without eating.
Yeah.
You know, let me just start off by saying I was over 300 pounds just this time last year.
That's unbelievable, man.
And, you know, I just wasn't happy with myself. And now I treat my body just like I treat my business and, you know, everything else, your relationship, you know, so on and so on.
Yeah.
You can't put all of your focus in one thing, but you're slacking in the second thing. So
100%.
My health wasn't the best, you know, my family, they don't have probably the best health and, you know, diabetes, high blood pressure, things like that. I was getting towards that, you know, that area.
Yeah.
And it was time for me to make a change. So I looked into fasting as a quick way to lose weight.
Yeah.
And, you know, just looking on YouTube, and most people are doing like 5 days without eating. And I'm like, that's impossible.
Yeah.
And I started doing research on it, and fasting has been around for centuries. You know, it's one of the oldest diets. You know,
100%.
You know, that's probably around, and one of the easiest things you can do. And, you know, now I got down to about 200 pounds. So I'm 100 pounds down. And it has changed and reversed a lot of health issues.
Very good. Very good. And you bring that up, and you're right. I mean, back in the day, there was no such thing as like breakfast. Like, for example, if you ate breakfast, you were like a king or a queen. Right. You know, normal folk, we didn't eat breakfast. That was too much money for all that. Right. And then even before that, I hate to go back to caveman times, but I mean, there was a time those people probably went 3 or 4 days without finding a dinosaur or whatever.
Probably over a week. I mean,
yeah. So your body's not exactly, I guess, made to eat 3, 4, 5 times a day. And I know these bodybuilders, you know, they eat like every 2 hours, but these are people that are training constantly. They're burning through this stuff.
Well, the crazy thing is, coming towards my diet, fasting was one of the main things that just changed my whole mindset on life. I mean, the longest fast I did was 5 days without food, just water only. And I think I lost over 10 pounds just that week.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just
that's huge.
It's not only a I guess, a diet change. It's more mental.
Yeah, because it has so many benefits outside of, and that's why I bring it up. It has so many benefits outside of just, the losing weight is nice, especially when you're overweight.
Right.
But aside from that, mentally, it's a breakthrough almost when you, especially with intermittent fasting, which I'm familiar with. I've done several times, and guys and girls actually have a lot of success with intermittent fasting for whatever reason, where females typically struggle to lose weight, more than males do for whatever reason. And intermittent fasting seems to be a real good key for them. Most ladies that I know that have tried it have had good success with it. So good for you. Obviously you're strong up here, and that's always important when you're a business person, but also you like to ride a bike.
Yes. I ride about 15 to 20 miles a day on my bike.
Wow.
Every morning I wake up between 4 and 5 a.m. every morning, and I usually do most of my work things, get that done. I have an automated business, so I just check up on all of my automations, make sure they're doing their jobs. And I start riding around 5:30, 6 a.m. every morning.
Fantastic. Stationary, or you actually get out and ride?
Oh, I get out and ride.
Oh, it ain't a stationary bike. Wow.
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, I'm surprised you can find places to ride around here. One of the things I'd like to see is them put like bike paths all over town.
Well, I ride in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I usually do about 3 laps around my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And you'll be surprised how much that can add up.
Yeah, that's true. No doubt about it. So obviously you're doing everything you can from a standpoint of just yourself to improve your lifestyle, which in turn it typically will improve your business.
Exactly.
So good job on that. Now, you are the owner of a successful business, and you're pretty passionate about your road to that successful business, which I found interesting. So we're going to go deep into your business. But before that, I want to discuss something you're ultra passionate about. And that is something that I have some passion for, which is the massive push we've seen probably in the last 5 years or so with kids. You got to go to college. You got to go to college. And look, I want to preface this with none of us have any problem with college in and of itself. And there are people that are totally made for college and all of that. But you, like me, when we were discussing off camera, we were talking about the lack of business owners. And a lot of that is because nobody's going into trades anymore, right?
Right.
What are your thoughts on that? Let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, and again, like you just said, this is my own personal opinion.
Sure.
And, like I said, if you want to go to college and you think you may have a good chance in being successful in life, if you want to be a doctor, lawyer, whatever it may be.
You have to go to college to do that.
By all means,
yes,
go to college. But if you're going to college because you're not sure what you want to be in life, there may be different options out there. There can be options out there where you can be more successful working for yourself versus getting a degree and you're not promised a job. A second thing is owning a credit repair business. I see hundreds of credit reports per month.
Yeah.
One of the main things that I see affecting people are student loans.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're going to get into that a little bit because that is not only a local probably issue, but really a national issue with regard to student loan debt. And college is just ridiculous. And look, I've got a son at LSU right now and 2 daughters that are coming up. They'll be seniors next year, and it is not cheap. And we're going to get into that a little bit, but we want to talk about your business a little bit as well now. Stephanie Berthelot and the crew at SR Enterprise can handle it all, from sheetrock to texture to paint. Give Stephanie a call at 504-432-9284. SR Enterprise, where they spread the paint and you spread the word. You established this business in 2019.
Right.
Okay, in Denham Springs, but originally it was kind of like a side job for you.
Yes. The way it started, I was working in the car business, and in the car business and sales, I'm only paid if I can close a car deal.
Right.
So one of the main things that affected me from getting paid was people with bad credit.
Yes.
So you can come in there and say you want to buy 1,000 cars on a lot, but if you don't have the credit to purchase them, or if you're just not paying them cash, then I'm not making any money. You're not buying any vehicles. So
yeah, nobody wins
right.
in that scenario.
And that's how I got into it. And then my original plan was to find a way to bring customers back to me to make more commission at the dealership. And of course, that's making the dealership more money. So
right.
I started looking into ways to improve credit scores because I never knew any of this existed. And all it is, you're just disputing negative accounts on credit reports and hopefully finding ways that you can get unverified items removed from credit reports. So what I started doing, I started practicing with friends and close friends and family and things like that to just practice my way of seeing how the Fair Credit Reporting Act laws work and different debt collection laws and practices laws. And eventually that took about a year. And I didn't really start, let's say I should say that, I didn't really make it public that I was doing credit repair. I just kind of wanted to stay low key with it because credit repair just has a bad name for itself,
Yeah. It's almost like the car business, I have a lot of friends that are in the car business and are great salespeople, great finance managers. But it has a stigma with it sometimes. And there's a difference between a car salesman and a professional car salesman.
Oh, 100%.
It's a great way to start and learn, and not everybody is a slick guy from that. Remember the old movie Used Cars? Yeah, not everybody's those dudes with the fishing pole. And in your case, you really wanted to help people so much in fact that you made it your business to do that. So you almost fell into this, and what you were doing was what I tell people all the time business owners do. You innovate when you can't get, in your situation, you couldn't get people financed because they had these dings on their credit.
Yes.
And so you were looking for ways to get those dings removed.
Exactly.
And boom, Stirgus Credit Repair was born.
Right. And the crazy thing is the way it started, I actually had one of my car sales customers, she couldn't get approved. And and again, this wasn't when I first made it known I was doing credit repair, but I reached out to her. I said, hey, look, let me see if I can do a few things with your credit. Do I have your permission to do that? Can you allow me to at least attempt to help you? And I did that completely free. I didn't charge her anything. This is just 100% free, just me practicing on her.
Yes.
And about 4 months, she came back to us and she was able to get a vehicle.
Wow.
Yes.
And you were like, I wonder if I can do this with this person. And I wonder
when it started.
Man, it's crazy, huh? Yeah. And then the next thing you know, you've got another career. So you're going along, and this is obviously you're learning, you're studying. I'm sure you spent a lot of time on the internet kind of researching what these guys do and that it's legal and what they may do that's not so legal.
All of the requirements you got to have. It's a lot of things that's tied into it as well.
Yes, 100%. And then you decide in February 2020, you're like, man, look, I can make this a full-time gig. Yeah. What made you come to that decision?
Well, it got to the point where I was becoming less motivated to, I guess, go into work and work for someone else. Mm-hmm. At that point, I honestly believe I got up to about 120 clients within 3 months. Yes.
That's amazing.
And that's just local clients before my business just expanded in multiple states.
Yeah.
So after 120 clients, I guess I really, like I said, got less motivated going into work. And one day I said, you know what, this is going to be my last month at work.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I went to lunch that day, came back, and I said, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I have clients calling me. I have emails coming in. New people are signing up. I emailed my boss and said, hey, can we meet in your office in an hour? And he said, sure, let's meet. I went in there. He's like, man, what's wrong? I say, I think I'm leaving, and I think I'm a work for myself. And he pretty much said, I knew it. So,
yeah.
They all seen it coming.
Yeah, and you know, the writing, I guess, was on the wall for you. Your heart was one place and not another. And look, any type of sales job, once you start losing motivation, you're not doing anybody any good.
No, not at all.
And so off you go. And I hope you folks caught the date that I just said, because it was February 2020. Well, that's significant, because in March of 2020, what happened? COVID. What were your thoughts, man? You're breaking out. You're on your own, and boom, COVID hits a month after you kind of kick up and get going on your own. What were your first thoughts?
Well, it initially didn't hit me at first, because I didn't really take COVID too seriously at first.
Yeah.
Well, let's not say I didn't take it serious. I was too busy to actually understand what was going on in the world.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't watch the news. I haven't been watching CNN, or, I don't really listen to them anyway, but it's a different story.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah. But it didn't really hit me until I had about 50 to 60 clients calling me, emailing me, saying, hey, we're getting laid off of work, or we're sick. We can't go into work. They're not allowing us to go to work because we may have COVID. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? And, when I lost 50 to 60 clients within 2 weeks, I'm like, I just made the biggest mistake of my life.
Oh, man.
And I'm about to be the biggest fool going back to the dealership asking for my job back.
Yeah.
But that goes back to having a strong mindset. So I built my mindset to where I'm not going back to work for someone else. I'm either going to make this work, or I'm going to make this work. So, so I went from 120 clients. I lost about 50 to 60. So I went back down to about 60 to 70 clients enrolled. And then I started promoting more in advertisement, meeting up with some of the realtors, local realtors that's in the area, loan officers. And I went from 50 clients, and I shot back up to about 300 within 2 months during a pandemic. So,
you dug in. Business owners, we innovate. And one of the things I'm famous for saying on this show is COVID, it was hard to find a silver lining, especially when you were in certain businesses like restaurants, hairdressers. I mean, those poor people, man, they were just told you cannot make a living. You can't make a living. How do you like that, Chris? You can't make a living.
I don't like it at all.
I don't either. I mean, it's just crazy to think about, but they were told that.
Right.
And the silver lining for everybody was it forced all of us to innovate. It forced all of us to say, well, I can't just quit making money. So how can I continue to do what I do, but come up with a better way of doing it, or maybe a way that will work where I can still make a living? And a lot of people did do that, including yourself. You dug in. You didn't just tuck your head and run, and you actually flourished. You ended up with 300 clients, right? In a short order. And that's an amazing thing.
Hey ladies, it's Pate with Ida Lane Spa and Boutique, located in Walker. We offer all things skincare, hair care, makeup, spray tan, lashes, and more. And we have a full selection of clothes. And we also do private events from birthday parties, bridal showers, and more. So stop by today and get your queen on, making every woman a queen. See you soon.
So let's talk about credit repair in particular. And look, some people, they have no idea what that is. And so maybe just kind of give me just a quick summary of what credit repair is.
Right, yeah, that's one of the main things I would love to talk about. So credit repair, again, that's disputing negative things that's on people's credit report. And one of the biggest misunderstandings that's out there is you have 3 types of people. The first type is, most people think credit repair is just some type of online scam, which there are many fake companies that's out there.
Sure.
They're not real credit repair companies. They're just individuals posting as credit repair companies trying to charge thousands or hundreds of dollars up front and scam people. So that's the first misunderstanding. The second misunderstanding, which is the biggest, most people think you can just fix their credit within 2 or 3 days. Just because they maybe seen some fake ad online. Credit repair doesn't work like that. The credit bureaus only update once a month. And plus, when you're disputing these negative items, the credit bureaus have to investigate into these items. So let me give you an example here. I guess one of the main things people have are collections. They don't pay a utility bill. They don't pay their credit card off. It goes to collections.
Phone bill.
Correct. Anything like that. So if a debt collector reports that, they don't legally owe that debt. They're just reporting it for the original creditor. So you can dispute that item that's on your credit report. Actually, you can do all of this stuff yourself. Credit repair is just a service, just like you're paying for a car wash or you're paying for somebody to cut your lawn. So if you're paying, a credit repair company, all they're doing is just trying to find ways to get this removed off of your credit. So if this debt collector can't prove what that debt is for, if they can't prove that you own this debt, then by law, the credit bureaus have to remove that from your credit report.
Interesting. And a lot of people don't realize that. And look, one thing, obviously you're the expert here, but I know a little bit about this. And one of the things that people need to keep in mind is there's an original creditor, and then there's someone that buys that credit from that original creditor at some point. So they'll charge it off. We'll use Citibank in this case. Citibank, you owe them some money. You don't pay it for 4 or 5 months, and they say, I don't think XYZ is going to pay this bill. So they charge it off so that they don't have to pay taxes on it. And then this guy comes along, this dude or this chick, and they say, hey, I'd like to buy that debt for 25 cents on the dollar or something. Pick a number.
Exactly.
And they buy it. And the reason they're doing that is they're taking a gamble. They want to buy that debt, and then they want to try to go to XYZ and say, look, you owe this debt, and I'm going to collect it.
Exactly.
And they hope that they can collect at least 50 cents on the dollar. Then they've made a little bit of money. But the point to that is they have to have a lot of paperwork. Number one, they have to have proof of the debt, right?
Exactly.
So they can't just have something from Citibank saying you owe it. They have to have proof.
Exactly.
And I think to sum up, kind of what you do is you make sure that they have that proof, right?
Yeah.
You can do it yourself. And Chris is an honest person, and it's good that he puts that out there. But here's kind of the difference. Chris knows the rules.
Right.
We as laymen in this do not. So number one, people tend to get embarrassed when they have to deal with anything to do with their credit.
Oh, yeah.
They have a ding or something. Well, you're there to say, hey, you ain't got to talk to them people. I'll talk to them people.
Exactly.
And you know the rules, right?
Right.
So Chris knows what they have to do and not. Yeah. That's the biggest advantage to you. That's a huge advantage.
Well, another thing is you have a lot of online apps, such as like Credit Karma. You can just go to the credit bureaus and dispute things online. One thing is whenever you click that dispute button online, the only thing you're doing is just pretty much saying this debt doesn't belong to me. And then if they verify that, you can just keep doing it every single month. It's going to keep getting verified. It's never going to get deleted. So credit repair is usually a different process than just saying this isn't mine. It's more of prove that it's mine. If they don't respond within 30 days in the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the bureaus must remove the information. So there's a lot of more methods you can use to get things removed from your credit report versus just clicking an online button that says this account isn't mine.
Yeah.
Usually the credit bureaus are just going to I wouldn't say ignore, because they legally can't ignore that you're disputing something, because you have that right to do that. But they're less motivated to dig deep into it when you're just clicking an online button that's just claiming something that's really yours isn't yours.
Sure, 100%. And that's where your expertise comes in, and student loan debt.
Yep.
You see a lot of that?
100%.
I would imagine you do. Yeah. And it's amazing that, student loan debt is not just limited to, people who get crazy degrees like we used to say in my old high school football coach used to say, don't get a degree in basket weaving.
Right.
And so, but it's not limited to that. You got lawyers, doctors, who are in an insane, especially in their case, insane amount of debt. Now, some of them make money to justify it, I guess you could say. But even them, with the amount of money some of these doctors and lawyers make, it takes forever to pay their student loan debt off.
Right.
In my opinion, college is just too expensive.
Well, and again, this is my own opinion, and I just started looking at college as a business. I may get a lot of disagreements with that. Yeah. But, by owning a credit repair business, I get so many nurses, pharmacists, early lawyers who email me or call my office, and they're like, hey, look, I went to school for this. I've been working for 1 or 2 years at my career. I can't get a house. And I'm just thinking in my head, like, how?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you got a great job. You make good money.
Right. And, you know, I have nurses right now that are enrolled with, you know, 400 and 500 credit scores because they just stopped paying their student loan debt and they have missed payments on it and, you know, different things that's on the credit report. But, you know, mainly it's the student loan debt that is affecting them from moving forward in life. You know, even if they wanted to use their credit to invest in some things, they can't do that.
Right, which is crazy because, you know, they've got the income.
Right.
The problem is they've got student loan debt just piled up on their report, and it's stopping them from doing them things. And you did mention earlier that you like to deal with real estate agents, for example, and kind of make relationships with those people because those people are the first, I guess, line there that they see these people's reports and they, you know, they know what they've got to fix in order to qualify for a house would be probably the best way to say that. And so when you have relationships with these people, they can refer you and all of that sort of thing. So take note, real estate agents and probably mortgage lenders and people of that nature. Now, would you consider your business passive income?
Now, yes, but at the same time, no. So originally when I first started my business, I was, you know, 100% of my day was tied up into working. Now I have invested back into my business from the first 2 years of having my business to where I can pretty much afford all of these automations to where my business runs for itself.
Yeah.
So usually I would be up to 8 or 9 p.m. at night folding hundreds of dispute letters after I've already worked 8 hours doing credit repair.
Yeah.
And then I have to go to the post office the next day to ship all of these dispute documents, paying for stamps, putting the stamps on the envelopes. It's just so many
Sit in the post
hours
office for more than 5 minutes and see how frustrated you get.
Right. So
you know?
I mean, now I have 1,000 documents a day that are outsourced and they're shipped within one business day directly to the credit bureau's PO boxes. And you know, even as far as my CRM, when someone sign up, the system now automatically send them their enrollment assessment. They enroll on their own. They can see their credit score updates every 30 days, starting from the day they sign up. They have questions. They can always schedule a consultation or physical consultation in one of my virtual offices. And other than that, you know, my day is pretty freed up, you know.
Now, and that blows my mind, and it goes to how smart you are, and that, you know, you were selling vehicles.
Right.
And you went into this credit repair thing, you researched it, you figured out ways to fix people's credit, but in short order, you have really automated this whole thing. William Waldrop of TWFG Insurance in Denham Springs can service all of your insurance needs. Offering auto, life, health, and commercial insurance, William Waldrop of TWFG Insurance is a proud supporter of Local Leaders, the podcast.
And like I said, I've been researching this for 8 months now of how to just automate my business. Whenever customers schedule consultations, I don't have to manually send a confirmation anymore. You know, everything's just 100% automated.
If someone is listening to this right now, and hopefully there's 200 of them, and they're like, yeah, I got tons of student loans on my report that, you know, maybe some of this stuff ain't valid. Maybe some of these things they don't feel like they owe. What would they do? What would be their first step of doing business with Stirgus Credit Repair?
So the first thing that I highly recommend everyone to do is to first go to the website, StirgusCreditRepair.com, and right there on the home page, you're going to see a button that says Credit Repair Details. So before you even sign up, click that Credit Repair Details button, read exactly how the service works, read how long it may take, read what can be done, what can't be done. You know, usually when I say what can be done, what can't be done, that's usually for people that's coming on the website thinking their credit can go from a 300 to a 700 overnight. So,
yes.
That's what I meant by what
Yeah.
can't be done.
Yeah.
I have on the website some of the Credit Repair Organization Act laws. So, for example, I can't charge money up front. So, most of these people that's on the internet, they're charging $500 up front, $1,000.
Not supposed to do that.
That's illegal. You can
Gotcha.
get fined. One of the biggest credit repair organizations out there is Lexington Law Firm, and they got fined by the CFPB for charging money up front to clients. So now they have their free trial going.
Wow.
Yep. So you can't charge money up front, and that's one of the biggest things that people are probably getting scammed by, or people that's on Facebook and saying they can fix credit when they're just probably just clicking some button that's just saying this account isn't mine. Something
Right.
you can do, and that's not going to work.
Yeah.
But you cannot charge money up front, and you cannot do false advertising. So I can't promote any type of advertising out in the world that say, hey, sign up and I can guarantee your credit is going to get fixed in 1 month.
Yeah.
I can't do that because
Right.
I can't even promise that.
Right. Right. And so the first step is just go to that website and do
Right.
what you just said, and
Right.
and you kind of take it from there. Now, you mentioned earlier that there are some shady credit repair companies, just like there's in any any business.
Right.
There's shady and there's not shady. Let's
Right.
just be honest. And in your business, there's some people out there that can be shady. Obviously, you separate yourself just from the fact that you're not shady.
Right.
A lot of what you just said, a lot of credit repair companies aren't going to tell you. They're not going to tell you they're not supposed to charge upfront fees, but Chris will tell you because Chris is a good guy and he's honest.
Right.
Give us some other ways that you would say Stirgus Credit Repair separates itself from like competitors. No upfront fees right off the top, I could tell you, is one way.
Right. So, yeah, I don't collect any money up front like we just said. But one of the biggest things that I have people call in the office about is, hey, I signed up with this company. I had no idea what was going on. They haven't updated me since I've been enrolled. I don't see my scores or anything. So one of the main things that I invested back into was making sure that each client has their online account. So they can literally log in 24/7. They can see what I'm working on. They can see their credit scores. They can see what's in dispute. They can see what was deleted, etc. So that's one way. A second way
That's
is
fantastic.
every 30 days, starting from the day you sign up, my system automatically sends you a detailed custom credit report. So it's not like your normal credit report where you just read and there's words and abbreviations everywhere and account numbers, you don't know what you're reading.
Right. You make it where you can understand it.
This detailed report is typed up to where a third grader could read it. So
Yeah.
it has your scores right there, big and bold, and then right under there, it's going to say, these are your negative accounts. That's simple. It's going to be highlighted in red, and then it's going to show everything that I'm working on. And then secondly, every 30 days, you get updated what changed in your email. So that's one of the biggest things that separate my company from all of these other credit repair companies out there, because they're not updating their clients. They're not letting their clients know what's going on. All they know is money is getting taken out of their account each month, or upfront, however the way they want to do it.
Right.
So,
And also I'm going to give you a scenario. Let's say someone enrolls with you and they're 30 days into it and they want to get out for whatever reason. I don't know. Is there a contract where you stuck for a year, or how does that work?
And that goes back to the Credit Repair Organizations Act. You cannot have any type of contract. So a lot of these people, I wouldn't say companies because they're not real companies, but some of these people tell clients that, oh, well, this is a 12-month contract. We have to charge you 12 months, which, you can't even do that. But secondly, most of those people that are doing that, and this blows my mind, they don't have a billing system like I have that automatically charges their card every 30 days. They have it to where they're accepting cash out payments or Venmo payments or PayPal or something like that. And these people are manually paying them. So I'm like, how do you have somebody tell you're in a contract and you're manually paying them?
Yeah.
That just blows my mind. I had about 5 people who called my office just this month alone saying, yeah, I'm still paying this company. I'm like, you paying them? How are you paying them?
Yeah.
And they literally said Cash App and Venmo. I'm like, well, just stop.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And that's really One thing I will, we discussed earlier, but I'll bring up again is you got to be careful with these third-party creditors that buy this debt, because they're going to do anything they can to collect that debt, right? They have an invest, as small as it may be, they have an investment in it, and so they want to make as much money as possible. And look, sometimes there's some things on your credit that don't, are not legit. I paid a medical bill one time, and about 6 months later, it popped up on my credit as a charge off.
Yep.
And I'm like, I paid that. Now, fortunately, I am a record keeper, to say the least. I'm a file freak, is what people call it. But I had the records. I had the proof of that I paid the debt, and I was able to get it removed. But if you don't pay attention to your credit report, you never even know it's there.
Exactly. You can actually get a free credit report every 12 months if you just go to annualcreditreports.com. So I highly advise people just to do that every 12 months. Because you can use things like Credit Karma and things like that, but they don't show your full 3-bureau credit report. Yeah. So I highly advise going to annualcreditreport.com. Just look at your credit report today sometime, or whenever you're watching this podcast, and just look at things that's on there. You would be surprised if there's any errors that's on your credit report. I would say about 90% of people would probably have some type of error that's reporting to their credit report that shouldn't be on there.
Wow, 90%.
Yes.
That's high. Yeah, and let me ask you this question. Okay. So, do you see a lot of people in this area that have, issues maybe with their stuff? Yeah.
Yes, a large amount.
Yeah, and I think some of that's tied into the flood and people at that time. Some of us didn't have insurance, and maybe they went out and were forced to charge a lot of things on a credit card or something like that to get it paid for, and maybe got behind in a lot of things. But I think a lot of that is tied to the disasters that we had, especially the 2016 flood, no doubt about it. But we're local, we're a local podcast, and of course we know that there's people out there right now that aren't sure what to do, and they don't know what's legal and what's not legal, and that's what you're here for.
Right.
They don't need to know. You don't. I mean, if you want to know, you can, but leave it up to Stirgus Credit Repair to kind of look over that and get you fixed up, get those things that may not even supposed to be on your credit, or get those removed. Because sometimes it's not about getting out of a debt that you legally owe. Right. It's not accurate.
Exactly.
And if you don't check your credit report, you'll never know. Do you see a lot of identity theft right now?
Well, let's say out of 100 people, I have probably had 10 that had their identity stolen and put things on their credit report.
Is that hard to get removed?
Well,
that's the process.
It's the easiest thing to get removed because it's legally not yours, and you can usually prove that it's not yours because most of the time it's credit cards, and you can see the out-of-state transactions or the out-of-state billing statements and things like that.
Yeah.
But the process itself takes a while because they have to do a investigation and prove that it's legally not yours and it was really identity theft. Plus, you have to submit a lot of forms, so that can take sometimes a 3 to 4 month process right there.
Yeah. And I had a feeling that was kind of a deal these days is identity theft. So that's a situation where the debt's not even legally owed, and people out there just taking your information.
Right.
They're just stealing your information. If it's online, you can do it.
Yep.
Somebody can hack that.
Yes, sir.
Trust me. They 12-year-old in a closet somewhere.
Right.
He's got selling credit card numbers. So be wary of that. Do just what Chris said and pull your credit report once a year. Just review it. Make sure you don't have a credit card or something like that on there that you don't recognize. If you do have that, do what Chris said. Go to his website and he'll get you fixed up. BJ Pawn and Gun in Denham Springs wants to buy your unwanted gold jewelry, gold coins, and gold bullion. With 30 years of experience operating in the Livingston Parish area, BJ Pawn wants to be your source when selling your gold. So stop by BJ Pawn today for a no-obligation offer. BJ Pawn, a proud sponsor of Local Leaders, the podcast.
Yep.
Now, your slogan is use your credit to finance your goals. Tell me
sir.
about that.
Well, that goes back to how I started my business. So I went back to all of these crazy automations we were just talking about. You know, I couldn't pay for all of that out of pocket at the time. So I had a high limit credit card, and the credit card, I believe, had 0% interest for the first 12 months or the first 15 months or something crazy like that. Plus, you get a $300 intro bonus whenever you spend a certain amount within a certain period.
Yeah.
On top of that, you get about 3 to 4% cash back. So what I did, I'm like, instead of going out and apply for a loan, putting myself in debt and paying interest, guaranteed interest, I'm going to take advantage of this 0% credit card, and I'm just going to start my business buying everything just with this. You know, one of the biggest things that I needed to start my business was Louisiana requires a $100,000 bond for credit repair organizations. So,
that's interesting.
yeah, so if you have a $100,000 bond, you usually pay a certain percentage for that, and that's for the first year, and that's about, I think I paid, that was $7,500 just for my bond, plus all of my softwares, integrations, automations, and things like that. You know, that could be about $25,000.
Yes.
So I used my credit card, and the return was just crazy. I was able to, you know, pay that back within 4 months just from starting my business. And again, you know, using that 0% credit card, I just used my credit to finance my business. I was charged no interest, and I literally made money to start my business.
Fantastic.
From the cash back, the intro bonus, 0% interest, it was free money.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very good. And fitting for your slogan. I mean, it makes all the sense in the world. Now, one thing I want to read is in your questionnaire. I asked you, give me your why statement. And I was impressed, to say the least, with yours, and because it kind of speaks to who you are, and what you believe. So I want to read it. I'm gonna try not to jack up your quote here, but basically you said, why keep bad credit? It costs you more money, prevents you from moving forward in life, and may hold you back from starting your own business. Why do I love what I do? I help hundreds of individuals a month increase their credit scores. Not only am I helping individuals get better credit, I'm also helping businesses that need customers with good credit to stay in business. That is a fantastic point. A fantastic point. And you notice the word help was in there 3 or 4 times. You know, it's not every day that maybe a credit repair company uses that term, right? Help. But that's who you are as a person. You really, at the end of the day, you're providing a service that helps a lot of people.
Exactly.
And so shout out for that. I wanted to quote that because it impressed me.
Thank you.
And you also brought up in that other businesses stay in business because you keep that ball rolling.
Right.
If you own a used car lot and you get Stirgus Credit Repair involved and you end up selling that truck that person did not qualify for before, you've just helped that business and the person. You're helping 2 people.
Right.
Huge deal. That's a man that thinks outside the box right there.
Right.
I know a little bit about that. I get out that box every now and then too.
Oh, yeah.
So very good. Now, what are some things that people may not understand about the credit repair business? Something that maybe, we talked about the misconceptions, obviously.
And a lot of people just look at credit repair as a joke. I get so many people who call the office throughout the week and they're like, hey, how does this work? And I tell them the whole process. And I had a guy the other day, he called and he's like, it sounds good, but I don't think it's real. So, a lot of people would just keep bad credit versus trying to fix it. And I tell people all the time, I say, look, you're calling me because, you may have not paid some things in the past, or maybe life happens and you couldn't afford to pay things, and now you have bad credit. So I tell people all the time, why would I want anything else from you, if you want bad credit? So I'm just trying to help you.
Yes.
So, a lot of people think that it's some type of identity scam or something, and that goes back. I can't do anything with bad credit.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
a lot of people, they're just stuck in this mindset that if they just get bad credit, they just lose motivation to improve themselves, and they just rather just stay like that for the rest of their life.
Yeah. 100%, man. Let me ask you this question. So you're a very passionate person about business ownership.
Yes.
You belong to a group on Facebook. It's like a private group where y'all kind of uplift each other, right? And you're all business owners. And there was a time, Chris, me, are two good examples of people that worked for successful companies, and we were blessed to have those jobs, and nobody's insulting corporations or the fact or companies that you work for. But is there anything like business ownership in your mind?
Yes. So one of the main things that helped me with my business and improving my business was surrounding myself around the right people. I didn't have anyone in my family that owned a business or knew how to build a business or anything like that. So I couldn't really hang around anyone in my family or ask family for advice. Their main thing was just going to school, get a degree, and make some type of salary, your boss is going to give you. But surrounding myself around people who own businesses and invested into things, that changed my mindset completely on life. And honestly, without surrounding myself around the right people, I probably wouldn't be nowhere where I'm at right now.
Right. 100%. You are who you hang out with, I guess, would be the old term for that. But when you surround yourself with positive people and people that have maybe the same goals, it's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing the stuff that happens. And on this show, we like, some people listen to this show, Chris, and they're trying to make that jump, make that leap. They're working for somebody else, and they've always wanted to have their own thing, and it's kind of a side hustle right now. And they're like, man, I don't want to lose my insurance, or I don't want to which medical insurance, is something to me that is a struggle because it's so expensive to go out on your own business and have medical insurance.
Exactly.
So a lot of people get trapped. They get locked in that corporation mindset where the only thing that's stopping me is I got 3 kids and I got to have this insurance and I can't afford it unless I work here.
Right.
I hate that.
Right.
Man, that, I really do. I think something needs to be done about that.
Oh, yeah. I know many people who are like that right now.
Yes.
Friends of mine, they're just keeping work just for insurance, purposes and things like that, which I understand. But at one point, you have to make that jump. If you can increase your business, insurance may be the least thing on your mind.
That's right. So. That's right. And, do some things to help yourself. Right. Intermittent fast, do things like that maybe you won't need the insurance as bad. But, but entrepreneurship, there's nothing like it. Oh, you're a great example of an entrepreneur and someone who has innovated his business from folding. Think about it, man. Not too long ago, you were folding letters in the living room or whatever, and look at you now in short order.
Yep. And another thing is, my business doesn't just have one service. So, of course, repairing credit, which is disputing the negative things on credit reports, that's the main service. But I also help individuals with no credit history. So if you just have zero credit, you never financed anything, and you need a cosigner to buy your first home or car, or you can't just get a credit card, I'm partnered with banks and creditors, and I have my own secure credit card that's on my website and my own credit building loan that's on my website. So the credit building loan, what you're doing is you're paying like $15 a month, and that money is given back to you whenever you close out the account, you cancel, or whenever the term is over. So that $15 a month, what that does is it reports to the credit bureaus. So it's just like you're paying on a loan. Yeah. So you're just building positive credit history. Whenever you're done, you get the money back. So I like to call it a credit building / savings loan because you're getting the money back. Another thing I have on there is
somebody's going in an escrow or something.
Exactly. Yeah. I have the secure card on there, which most of your banks and credit unions offer one. But the one that's on my website does not put a hard inquiry on your credit. And I'm partnered to where it's an automatic approval. So you apply today, you put a $200 deposit down, you're using your own money as credit just to build credit history. And again, whenever you cancel the card, if you want to, you get your $200 deposit back. So
Fit Blends of Denham Springs can help you with everything from meal prep to supplements. I love it that they serve breakfast all day in addition to the best ultra healthy wraps you can really get anywhere in Livingston Parish. They are home of the $5 Smoothie Friday and are an amazing sponsor of Local Leaders, the podcast. Fit Blends Denham Springs, fast, fit food for you.
you can go straight to StirgusCreditRepair.com and just click the credit building products page, and both of those will be on there. I also have a service that can report rent payments as well.
Come on.
Yeah, so I have it all.
You always thinking, Chris. You always thinking. That hamster's always running on that wheel, ain't it?
Right. And I guess this is also unrelated to credit repair, but I also just started a second company.
I was going to ask you about that.
With business funding.
Yes.
So a lot
Let's
of
talk about that.
Yeah, well, so I have Stirgus Funding. It's the business name. So if I went to a big bank right now, just starting my business 2 years ago, which I should be fine now because they require 2-year tax returns, but still, I'm still classified as a new upcoming small business. Mm-hmm. I'm probably going to have some type of crazy requirements, or they may have some crazy stipulations, or they may not even, they just may tell me no if I wanted to get a business loan and go out and build something. Well, now I'm partnered with this special underwriting team to where I can work with businesses as early as being open 4 months, or, you know, making a minimum of $3,000 a month in business. So you can get up to 75% of your monthly income the same day.
Wow.
For business funding.
That's impressive.
Yeah, but you have to be a registered business to apply for it.
Would you have to be a business that, one of the things with businesses that business owners don't realize they struggle. They don't realize a struggle exists, but you open up a business, you register it, you do all those things, you're official, right, and you're taking in money, and then you got to figure out, do you want to be a W-2 employee, or you want to take an owner's draw, or how do you want to do all that? And there's advantages to both. And one of the things with being a W-2 employee is you have proof of income that that's coming into you. So probably the better way to go, but there's a lot more paperwork involved. Right. That's a whole nother podcast. But yeah. I guess my point to that is, how would you judge with businesses? It gets a little hairy, because how do you judge? So you go off of the income that the business itself has in a 4-month time period, basically. Right.
And I can also work with
like P&L sheets, basically.
Yes. And I can work with business owners with credit scores as low as 500.
That's up and running, and people can.
It's 100% up and running now. I've had many customers so far, local business owners. It has literally kicked off just like credit repair.
Man, you just rolling. Right. You're rolling. I like the way you think, man. Right. You're always building your business. Oh, yeah, that's a good thing.
Like I tell people all the time, I'm not working all the time, but I'm working all the time. I'm working in my head. So
I know the feeling.
I also have real estate that's coming up soon in the local area. So I'm always, figuring out the next move.
Very good. I asked you some fun facts, man, on your questionnaire, and I liked the answer to yours. Some interesting stuff here. I asked you if you purchased a yacht, and that's probably coming. What would you name it? You said Stirgus Yacht.
Yeah, I'm using
everything Stirgus.
I'm using my last name for everything. I'm making something out of my last name.
I love it. I said, what was your dream job when you were 12 years old? You said an engineer.
Yep.
Very good. And you're kind of an engineer now,
I guess
in some ways. That's right. If you could have any superpower, what would it be? You said the ability to lose weight and stay healthy. I'd say you got that superpower already.
Yes, if I have to work for it.
Yeah. Yeah, you just like to think it away, huh?
Right.
I hear you. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go? Florida will always remain your favorite place to visit, even choosing somewhere out of the country.
Yes.
So you love Florida.
100%.
Yeah.
That's one of the next places I will probably changed my living too.
Yeah.
There. Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be hard to beat, man.
Yep.
Be hard to beat. Man, did you have fun today?
Oh, I did. I enjoyed it.
I'll tell you what, one of the things I'm blessed with on this show is to get entrepreneurs who have really built something on here, and it happens a lot, and just feel very blessed to be able to tell your story and people just like you every week on the show. And I'm glad you had a good time. Anytime you want to come by and talk about, credit repair or beaches or whatever, man, we can just talk about how great the Florida governor is.
That sounds great to me.
We can do it. So I want to thank everyone out there for viewing and listening to Local Leaders, the podcast. And I do want you to shout out your website again. Yeah. And do you have a Facebook or anything, or just website?
Yeah, well, crazy thing is, years ago, I was always just against social media, and I just never did the social media thing. And when I started my business, I made the Facebook page for Stirgus Credit Repair. So now I have the Stirgus Credit Repair Facebook page, Stirgus Credit Repair Instagram, since a lot of people get on Instagram now.
Sure.
I still haven't made an Instagram account, but I do have those pages for my business. So if you have social media, definitely go follow Stirgus Credit Repair on those two.
100%. And I'm going to link them to the video as well. So people can find them easy. Check out the website. I'm going to link that also to the video, to this video. And the audio version, so people can check that out. Okay. So hopefully you'll be like, Jim, I got like 1 million hits.
Yeah, I'm sure it's coming.
We're pulling for it. So please continue to like, comment, subscribe, and share Local Leaders on all your social media platforms. We really appreciate that, and we are really striving over here to shine a spotlight on all of our local business. Thank you to our sponsors, including Tricia Johnston Realtor, William Waldrop of TWFG Insurance, BJ Pawn, Fit Blends, Denham Springs, Black Sheep Creative, SR Enterprise Painting, Idell Lane Spa and Boutique, Fit Body Boot Camp. We could do none of this without all of you, and we really appreciate it. If you want information on sponsoring the show or appearing on the show, please reach out to Jim at localleadersthepodcast.com. Until next time, I'm Jim Chapman, reminding you, love your community, support local business just like Stirgus Credit Repair, and keep leading. Thank you very much. Dane Arnold with iTrade Exchange has been enabling small business in the Livingston Parish area to save cash through his network of over 300 participating Livingston Parish businesses. Saving cash by trading services with other exchange members is what iTrade Exchange is all about. For more information, contact Dane Arnold at 225-205-3640 or visit iTradeExchange.biz.